recording. First item on our agenda is new faces. I see a lot of familiar faces. So I think we can skip ahead here to outstanding project level RFCs. I will share my screen. Okie dokie, not too many today. Starting from the bottom. RFC for bill of materials work.
Yes, this one we had some outstanding comments about SWID tags and pearls. We have updated the RFC to include what we plan on doing for package URLs, and we've decided not to move forward with adding SWID tags for the bill of materials, and we've kind of documented just our reasoning why. But those were the last two things that we had outstanding, I think. There's a couple unresolved comments, but no follow-up from anybody when we asked. So I think that this should be like ready for a final review from anybody.
I did have one question based on sort of the upstream CMB RFC to switch the BOM format to Cyclone DX. I know you guys have been involved in that process as well. Is there an argument that we should just be sort of like using a TOML version of the Cyclone DX schema so that it is easy to convert, hoping optimistically that that RFC does go forward?
I'm honestly not sure. I think on their side, there's some really strong opinions. I don't know that I wouldn't want to support both versions. I saw your comment like a week or two ago about that, but I honestly don't know too much about that. I think for this RFC, we're more just hoping to like solidify the actual fields that we want to support less and worry less about the format until the upstream kind of comes to consensus.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We can start getting the data in here. Just want to call out that like we might change this format here and then change it again in the near future if
definitely.
If we can normalize on a standard like Cyclone DX. But as long as everyone is okay going forward, acknowledging that this is a stepping stone. Maybe
I should add something in here that just calls that out and that the format might be subject to change. But yeah, that's a worthwhile call out.
All right, thank you for that update. Seems like the big action item here is for Ryan and myself to re-review. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to go to that. I want to go back here. The RFC to promote Python buildback from community is still in draft. I think we were waiting on changes to make this consistent with our other Paketo build packs. Do we have any updates on the status there?
We are in the process of implementing those missing features, and once they're done, we'll come back and like re-request promotion.
Cool. Thank you for the update. This was a fast one. I believe that is it for our open RFCs. Next in our agenda doc, we have highlight Go docs on docs how to go and talk about how to's versus reference docs.
Yeah, that was me. I just wanted to, maybe I can share my screen and talk about some of the work we've been doing on the website, or mostly that Frankie's been doing recently to split up the documentation from one big kind of monolith to splitting it up into this new format, which is kind of how-tos and then reference documentation. So I just wanted to highlight the Go as one that's kind of a bit farther along than the others in terms of this kind of new format. And so the basic idea is like where kind of their action based or like, do a thing based for the how-tos, and that's kind of lives in this how-to section. So build a simple Go app and override a detect Go version, etc. How to configure Go build command. So a specific thing that you may need to do or folks may need to do. And then we've pushed out the documentation around things like environment variables and all the like components of the build packs into this reference. And kind of the reason we're going in this direction is, one, we want a nice kind of on-ramp for folks who are coming to build packs with this particular language and have a task to accomplish. And two, we're hoping down the road a bit to be able to, for the reference stuff, kind of generate some of this in a more programmatic way and a more kind of thorough way, where we don't have to necessarily, maintain all of these by hand in terms of like all the different environment variables and so on and so forth. So, and that may be a bit easier to do when the reference is split out from the kind of action-based or documentation, how-to documentation. So I just wanted to highlight that. You can take a look at Go and some of the pull requests that are in process for the other languages. I'll show those here, and we're just hoping to get some feedback from some of the maintainers of those languages around these reorganization stuff. I think we've got some on Java. We could use a look on the Node one, the PHP one as well. So it's kind of my call to action. If you don't mind taking a look at some of these website pull requests, I can post this in a few different channels if you are a maintainer of one of those, and provide any feedback you might have. Questions, thoughts?
I had a quick question around sort of common things that I could imagine being in a how-to, sort of like how to add an image label, that kind of stuff. Do we have how did we decide to organize that?
Yeah, so I guess right now we kind of just took what was there and kind of split it up in kind of or Frankie split it up in terms of what kind of she thought was the right way to do it. And so we're definitely looking for feedback.
Oh yeah, I can see it at the end here, like set environment variables. It seems like, yeah, I think this makes sense. Like we might end up duplicating it across all the languages, but the most important thing is that people navigating through can find it. And
yeah, and there's some facility for like having maybe snippets of things that are common and stuff like that, and we can make it easier to reuse pieces. But yeah, we're definitely still figuring it out. So if you have any like feedback on where this kind of stuff might go, or like calling out duplicates like you just did, that would be cool. I think then in the next phase, we're going to try and, in addition to kind of this stuff, like generating net new docs, there's a design for, let me just show this off a little bit. Second. Let's see. So there's kind of a design for this little widget, which is like this is on getting started, but this will give you some more like gentler, like how to do more specific things with various platforms. This is like an overview of kind of a getting started page that kind of feeds into the how-tos. So, and then how-tos will be a little more detailed, I guess, and then reference even more so.
Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. It's looking really good.
Thanks.
Does anyone else have any docs questions? Okay, moving on. I copied this item down from future topics. UBI, has there been any discussion on providing a UBI stack?
Yeah, I added that to the agenda a little while ago. Just a general question. If is there ever going to be a UBI stack implemented in Paketo, or is the intent really, if you want UBI, you need to look elsewhere?
I know at least on the Java side, we've been talking a lot about how to make sure the Buildpacks could work with the UBI stack. And part of that, I think, for us is going to be moving to the wildcard stack. Like once Dan put up that PR to add libz to tiny. So soon when the Java Buildpacks run on tiny, I think we can change our stack to be wildcard stack, so it'll run on any Linux. So I think we're working to unblock Paketo Buildpacks on UBI stacks, but I don't think we have plans in the near future to produce a UBI stack for folks to use. It'd be like BYO UBI stack.
Okay, gotcha. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
That is the end of our agenda for today. We'll do that pretty fast. Anyone have any topics that were not on the agenda that they would like to cover? Okie dokie then. I'll let you all have the next 45 minutes back. Have a
Bye.
good day, everybody.